Talk
Is
about
being
tips for
recorded.
navigating technical support. The topics that I'm going to cover today is I'm going to go over a quick overview of support and who we are as an organization. I'm going to talk about the different paths you can take to contact technical support. I've also touched on our services/offerings, maintenance packages, and we'll talk about our case process. We really want to dive in to understanding what actually happens when you open a case with PTC. And then I'm going to talk about our support guide and the importance of it as well. Support offers a set of services that's really geared to improve productivity and enhance our customers' overall experience. 24/7 global operation. We have 400 plus certified technical support engineers worldwide. Multi-language support as well. And we are also ISO certified. We have a set of quality standards in place to ensure that we meet the level of support that our customers expect. Ways that customers contact technical support either via phone or WebEx or web. Usually, in regards to cases, customers open cases via the web. However, you do have the capability of opening up cases by calling in directly. Usually that occurs when the customer is not able to access our support portal or doesn't have access to the internet or whatever issue you may be experiencing at the time. Customers also call into technical support when they want to reach the engineer directly or contact management. Way to create cases is through the web. It is the more efficient way, and it allows you time to gather the right information so that we have everything we need to initiate our to initiate investigation for that issue. In terms of our offerings, I am going to just focus on our Gold Plus offering today, but just to note, we have multiple offerings for our maintenance packages. But I just kind of wanted to give an example of one of the packages that we offer. Before I dive into the different offerings within this package, I do want to clarify one thing here is that we have certain targets that PTC technical support try to meet. These targets are targets that we kind of hold ourselves accountable for, but they're not something that we're saying that we commit to completely. We try our best effort to ensure that we meet these targets. Also try to make customers aware of what our goals are to deliver the best service possible. In terms of what's offered in the Gold Plus support package, we have support services that consists of software updates and maintenance releases so that you can stay current with the version of the software that you currently purchase have with PTC. We offer e-support services, which consists of our e-support tools. There's good resources for you to use. We have our PTC Knowledgebase as well, our performance advisor. We also offer proactive support services. That's our on-demand scan and monitoring and guidance scan, and proactive monitoring and guidance. And we have our assistant support as well. That consists of our PTC support community support as well as our support desk. On the package that you have, you either going to have 24/7 or 24/5 access to support desk. So you want to be aware of what packages you have so you understand when and how you can contact technical support. For multi-language support as well, when available. In regards to our response times and response frequencies in terms of managing or interacting with you with cases, those vary based on the severity level, with severity 0 being our most critical. So we try to contact customers within the first 30 minutes of opening that case. And that's what we consider an E-down. Goal is to resolve E-down issues within 24 hours of the case being opened. In addition to that, we offer optional support services as well, and that consists of upgrade and migration weekend support. That is, if you have a sort of an implementation that's sort of occurring over a weekend and you want to make sure that you have technical support available, sometimes you can purchase that option, as well as dedicated support engineer. That gives you the ability to do remote assessments and health checks of your system. We also have a technical support account manager service that we offer as well. This is a valuable service for our customers. Basically, you're getting a lead from PTC who's going to be an active liaison between your organization and PTC. And this person will understand our ecosystem and ensure that all your issues are being addressed. They know how to rally the right individuals to support to get the results that they're looking for. And we also offer extended support. You the ability to extend your service or software updates and maintenance as standard support. And I will talk more about standard and sustained support as well. But many of these options are available for the majority of our products. I do want to note that we do have products that these options are not available for. If you're unaware of what whether or not your product have these options available, I recommend reviewing our PTC support terms and conditions. That goes into detail based on product of what options and what offerings we have available for those products. About opening up a case here, using our case logger. I think many of you guys on the call probably have opened up a case with PTC before, so I know you're probably familiar with the process, but the purpose, my purpose of kind of walking through this is that I really want you to understand the importance of the information that we try to gather during opening up a case and why that's so important to PTC, and also to get a jump on your case. So it's starting step one. We look at a brief. We require a brief description. My advice is to be brief, but as concise as possible. That information helps generate certain knowledge-based articles. It also helps the engineer clarify the issue. I would also say you want to be familiar with your entitlement. We've had many situations where customers created cases and they were denied support for that specific product because they inputted the wrong SCN number. So you want to make sure you understand what SCN number you should be using when you open a case for that specific product. We also require that you select a severity. The severity is important because it helps us better prioritize our case volume or our case load. We have at any given time, an engineer could have up to 30 cases in their queue. So it's important that they manage their cases based on priority, and they want to tackle the most urgent cases, first. So it's important that you actually select the correct severity, and we'll talk more about severities. Right? Also, the product details. This is really a critical area because the product details allows your case to be properly routed through our system. Based on the product in the technical area, your case will be routed to an engineer that has the skills to support that specific product. So it's important that you identify the product, the correct product, as well as the technical area, and to ensure that there's no delays in getting your case addressed. Have our knowledge base that automatically generates articles for you when your case is opened. So based on the description of your issue, based on the product, it's going to automatically generate knowledge articles that's related to your issue. Find that the articles are not related to your issues. I would suggest sort of editing your description and probably doing a research just to make sure, because usually we have articles that show symptoms that could help you get to a solution. This is in parallel to creating your case. I suggest creating your case, but if you see an article that's related to your issue, you should certainly take a look at that article because it could help you sort of help yourself. I mean, we've had many situations where customers reviewed an article and realized, oh, there's the solution, and they quickly implemented it and closed their case. So, which obviously is the fastest path to resolving your issue. So I would certainly suggest looking at any available knowledge articles that's generated when you open a case. Look for, we have additional criteria that we request from customers, and that is the business impact, the symptoms of your issues, steps to reproduce your issue, the error message and warnings, any logs that you can generate from your system. We would ask that you upload that and attach it to the case. This information, again, is important because it helps the engineer clarify the issue initially. The engineer can't really initiate an investigation until they fully understand your issue. And if it's not provided initially when you open your case, typically an engineer will probably ask for that information during first contact. And we'll talk more about that. Understanding how your case is routed. So basically, when you open a case, you identify your issue, you describe it, as well as identify the product in the technical area. What happens is it goes through our CRM system to an engineer that's got the skill level to support that specific product area. That engineer is also the system also look for whether or not that engineer has the availability to look at your issue, and it also base it on workload as well. Um, the engineer usually receives your case, and what they're going to do is they're going to they're going to consume all the information provided in your case. And then they're going to take that information and see if there's any existing fixes or solutions that we offer for that issue. And then the engineer will reach out to you directly. They're going to ask, they're either going to give you direction in terms of, a status of the issue. They're going to try to clarify the actual business impact of your issue. They're going to try to acknowledge, your issue so that you have some reassurance that it's being properly addressed. If the engineer discovered during investigation issue is related to our code base, what they're going to do is take the lead and pull in our resources in R&D and QA to investigate the issue further. For those that have opened up a case before, probably have gone through that process. You should be aware, if you haven't, that there could be many interactions between you and the engineer before we actually get to a point of a solution. Again, about the first contact, we value our first contact, and this is why we consider it a quality first contact. There are three key things that the engineer is going to look for when they actually go do a quality first contact. They're going to try to acknowledge the issue with you. Basically, they should be providing reassurance to you that they have consumed all the information that you provided. They clearly understand the issue that you're dealing with, and you should feel completely comfortable walking away that engineer is on the right path to resolve your issue. The engineer will also look deeper into the business impact. We want to understand how this issue is impacting your organization. What's the pain points here? Where are the time constraints? We need to know that information so that we can properly prioritize. And it also gives us an idea of the frustration level that you may be at. And we want to make sure that, your experience is minimum effort. We improve your experience the best we can. So it's very important that we collect that business impact. And I know this is an area that we typically struggle to get information, but I just kind of want to make just kind of point that out so that you're aware of why that's important. Additionally, we want to set expectations. And what we mean here is that we really want to align with you. I want you to understand what are our next steps, what to expect after you get off the phone with the engineer. The engineer could say, I'm going to take the information you provided. I'm going to talk to my peers. I talk to R&D. I'll be initiating your investigation. You'll hear from me tomorrow morning. That's the type of communication you should be receiving. Also want to set those boundaries and limitations. There are certain times where we have to set expectations in terms of the issue itself and when we can get to it in terms of priority. So that alignment is very important so that both you and the engineer feel comfortable that you're on the right track and you understand what's next. And it also provides you the information so that you can communicate properly internally with your organization. To sum it up here, um, again, the information we request in cases is absolutely critical. The more information we have, the more we can avoid delays in getting towards a solution. So it's important to provide the product and technical area in the versions that you're using. If you have if you're linked to a database rather than SQL or Oracle, we would need to know that. We would need to know what versions those databases are, right? We need to understand what browsers you're using. And also, just to emphasize the business impact, is your issue related to a migration, install, or maybe a go live? These are all critical. This is all critical information for us to better manage your cases. If there's steps that you've taken to troubleshoot your issue, that would be helpful for the engineer. What are the, we in general, we encourage customers provide as much information as they can so that we can get a jump on your case as quickly as possible. If you're having issues attaching logs or don't know how to gather logs in your system, you can certainly ask the engineer that. But if you do know how to do that, we recommend attaching the appropriate logs to the case initially when you open the case. On severities again, I'm going to talk first about severity 1 through 3. 3 being our lowest severity. It's basically, you have a general question, low impact. It's not impacting your organization or operation. You just, you're looking for additional information, maybe some guidance around functionality or additional documentation. In terms of severity 2, there's some risk there, right? And it's not an issue that needs to be addressed within a few days, but it needs to be addressed quickly. And there's increased risk as time goes on. Severity 1 is critical. You're looking to get a solution as soon as possible. This is when you select a severity 1 for your case. Obviously, our severity 0 is the most critical. This is our E down severity. This severity is mission critical. This means that your enterprise down. To give you an example, you got 500 users who are not able to access your system, or no one can access your system. Your operations have stalled. You're not able to meet deliverables for your customers. It's probably, this issue is causing some huge financial impact to your organization. Those are the times when you want to E down your case. And because it's a mission critical severity level, you also should expect a mission critical response from technical support. And that this is good. Your issue is going to be worked 24/7 until it's resolved. Our goal is to resolve that issue within 24 hours. The engineer and management is going to align around that issue. Management is going to step in to ensure that the engineer has the right bandwidth to focus on just your issue until it's resolved. Additionally, management will assist the engineer in gathering the support from our cross-functional teams internally to ensure that we got everyone rallied around your issue, whether that's R&D, QA, product management, whatever is required to get it to a solution for your issue. Because it's mission critical, and because of the amount of resources that PTC has to leverage to address E-down issues, we do have to quantify that before we can actually justify it as an E-down. So you're initially, when your case goes E-down, the engineer will do some initial assessment, contact you within 30 minutes, but their goal is to quantify. They want to know, they want to get a better understanding of the E-down and why you consider it an E-down, so that they can provide the right justification to leadership. And what that will do is help us advocate better on your behalf to ensure that we get the right type of assistance internally to drive to a solution. situations where customers, consider their case to be an E-down, and in fact, we call in and discover that it doesn't rises to the level of the E-down, although it may be although it may be critical, but it's not something that we would consider an E-down. One process or path we encourage customers to take is obviously move your case to ensure that your case is set to severity 1, but we would also recommend that you point escalate your case. What that does is it sends a communication to management. Will review the first step. What management is going to take is review the case directly, just to get some perspective around the activity that's taken place so far in your case. Then that manager will follow up with the engineer to understand what challenges or barriers they have in place that's stopping them from getting to a solution. The engineer and management will align. Then we will contact you directly to provide reassurance that your issue is being addressed. There will be management oversight until that case is closed. So basically, you're getting a manager that's taking ownership of that issue. This is not a mission critical process, but it is definitely an urgent process. We ensure that cases that are escalated are resolved as quickly as possible, and whatever that means. If that means pressing R&D or pressing other teams to assist, we will do that. To touch on our customer support guide, again, this is something that many customers are not familiar with. Basically, everything I've talked about thus far is actually in our customer support guide. It goes over how to contact technical support, how to create and update cases, and just a ton of information in our support guide. I do have a little time, so I'll take you through our website so that you know how to get to the support guide. But before I do, I do want to touch on one specific thing, is that's the limitations of support. This is we do have some issues where customers open cases with technical support with the understanding that we actually support customizations. Technical support's goal is to support product issues that's out of the box. So if you have an issue that involves some custom code created by a third party or services, or maybe internally, that's probably linked to our software, that's probably an issue that we may not be able to support. However, technical support will give our best effort to ensure that we provide the right direction and guidance so that you get the help that you need. But I just kind of want to make you aware that this is an area that, in terms of our customizations or third-party components that's unrelated to PTC, that we just cannot support. Before we go to questions, I am going to kind of walk you through, quickly, just kind of skim through our website really quick, so that you understand how to get to the customer support guide. And there's some additional information I can touch on since we have a little bit of time here. So if you've never been to ptc.com, I would suggest going to ptc.com. This is where you get to your support portal as well. But when you go to the ptc.com, education support, the top link here, go down to support services. And I'm going to guide you to this page because this page specifically has a ton of information around support. And I think you will find it very helpful. Again, everything I've talked about during this call, it will go in detail on this page. So as you look through this page, you can see you got more information about our proactive support services, our proactive monitoring and guidance service, additional information around support services. So, we talked about the Gold Plus package. If you go into additional services, you can go deeper to understand what other packages we offer. And since we talked about the Gold Plus, if I click on the Gold, I can go here and download the data sheet, and it'll go in specifics to what's offered in our Gold package. If you go on there at the bottom, it actually goes through offerings and the targets that we have in place for this package. It goes over optional support services, and you can also get to the support portal, our knowledge base. You can download software from this area as well. Just kind of back out of here. Find that you can access our quality standards from this page if that's something that you need for your business to justify maintenance, get it, purchasing maintenance with PTC. You can go through our support terms and conditions. This is the link I was talking about, to kind of drill down into the products and what's offered for each product. So if I go, I clicked on that link and I say, I go down to English here. In here, it goes into detail in terms of what products. Go and you identify your product, and it'll tell you what options are available for your product. So this is something that I would certainly suggest, if you're not aware of, definitely go and review that. I think it's helpful information. It's good for you to know what's available to you. If you go down further on this page, show information. More specifically, this is where you can find the customer support guide. And again, you click in here, your customer support guide is going to give you the information to contact technical support, our hours of operations. You can access our ISO cert from here as well. Have just a ton of information. You have licensing information if you're trying to place software orders, or you need to learn more about the licenses you have. You can come here and you can read about it. You can contact licensing. You can access the licensing web tool from this site. Guidelines and legal. You can come here as well and better understand, just an overview of Arbortext support or Creo requirements, and ton of information. I would really suggest doing that if you've never been to our customer support guide. If you have questions about our processes, this is where you can get that from. You can get more information. It'll drill down to how to properly open a case, track a case, resolve, what's the process for resolving your case, tracking SPRs, escalations, etc. If you have never been to this site, I highly suggest that you do that. Just to kind of back out of here again, actually I want to close out of this page. I'll go back to the top of this page, and you see here in the top right corner, you have the eSupport link. And if I click in here, I don't know if it's going to take me to the login. Yes, so it should take you to the login. You should log into your portal from here. A couple things I want to point out into this in this portal is, you see here at the top, there's a couple bulletins that's posted. We've realized or discovered over time that a lot of customers don't pay attention to this. I highly suggest doing that. Technical support, R&D, product management work closely together. Updates around new functionality or functionality that we're removing from our products. We post those in bulletins, and these bulletins are typically posted and visible to you in the support portal. So if there's security vulnerabilities with our software, or if we have any updates regarding fixes for those security issues, they will be posted in a TS bulletin. So if you haven't paid attention to this before, I would certainly suggest that you do that. Sometimes you can you'll see one or two bulletins, and other times you'll see quite a few. So you should definitely read through them. In your portal, you have access to search our knowledge base, directly. This may be a situation where you don't necessarily, you probably experience an issue that you don't think a case is really worth your time opening. Well, you can come here and you can search our knowledge base and see if there's any available solutions or knowledge around the issue that you're experiencing. In here, you also have access to go to our download software site. This allows you to download the version of software you need for maybe a reinstall or Maybe you purchase new licenses and you want to download the software to do that, you can access that through this link here. You also have access to browse documentation. This is self-help, all types of different documentation that could be handy for you if you look through it. Compatibility metrics and things of that nature. If you're interested in getting additional training or providing training for someone else within your organization, you can go to this link to find additional training. Another thing I want to point you to is our product calendar. This is important because this is where you look when products, what versions of products are moving to sustained support. Our products are on a life cycle, so they do randomly move to sustained support. That's really important for you to know because um, our service offerings is different between standard and sustained support. Customers or products that are in sustained support doesn't get the same type of support as a products in standard support. So I really suggest you understand when your products are going moving support, and if so, you should start making plans to upgrade to the most recent version of that product. Um, we also list products that's going to be moving to end of life, just products that we're just going to pull out of the life cycle completely. That's also listed within our product calendar. And you also have access to manage your licenses. Um, Down here, further down on this page, you have access to open a case directly through the portal, as we talked about during the slide deck. You can review the history of your cases. This is also the link where you can access the PTC community. I think I'm going to wrap it up there because I want to give time for questions or any concerns you may have with anything I've talked about thus far. So again, thank you all for your time and attention, and I hope you enjoyed this WebEx or this webinar. And with that, I think I'm going to pass it over to Melissa.